What's up, everyone? I'm Grizz, and welcome back for episode 20 of Spy Family. I honestly can't believe we've made it 20 episodes in already, but the downside of that comes now that we only have a few left. But let's just enjoy them the most we can, I guess, and not look at it so negatively. Last week, we sent my boy George up to the clouds, and he basically got his entire school life and any chance he ever has at making friends, he lost it. It's gone. Poor guy, but he deserved it for acting a fool. And Yor became the wind. She started running. Had to get on your gym clothes. Didn't end up mattering though. But then we got a really good moment between Yor and Lloyd at the end of the episode. Really cute. I want more of them. So hopefully some more moments between the two of them. Maybe some development. Hopefully, please, soon. I don't know. Whatever. Episode 20. Another great episode, just full of Anya antics, basically. Before we get into most of the stuff that happened, this girl appears, who's the one that we've been seeing in the ED, and I've been wondering when the hell she's going to show up because we're getting towards the back end of the season. Apparently, she's a co-worker of Lloyd's, so I'm not too sure if she is actually just like a spy herself, or if she's just somebody who kind of like a secretary almost, or maybe she is a spy, but she's like kind of just in charge of him, like an assistant in a way, or if she just like for whatever reason, they just made her deliver that info to him. But I'm curious. It's the only bit that we got to see of her. So hopefully, again, next week we'll be able to see more. So the episode, like many of the past ones, split into two parts, where the first part is basically focused on Anya having a research paper due, and the research paper having to interview or shadow somebody, I guess, in a way, to learn about their profession and how one can get into it and what one has to do within that profession. Makes sense. It can always be a fun thing to do. We get this really great scene when Anya opens it up by asking Yor if she can shadow her or if she can learn about her job. And we get this amazing scene basically into Yor's mind of if Anya ended up coming to work with her one day. And instead of just thinking about, oh, she can come to the city hall or whatever, and we'll just do a normal work day over there. No, it has to be me out killing somebody and being an assassin. And Anya also has to play the part and deal with this. Just very over the top and dumb, but fun nonetheless. Then we also get Anya dressing up as her investigator or detective. She's trying to learn about Lloyd's job, despite knowing already about him being a spy, so knowing everything that's coming up here is a complete front. She writes in her notebook the entire time of all the things that he's even saying internally, but also all the other things that happen. Ultimately, though, just some really fun moments that happen throughout this. And then it just leads you into when her paper comes. The first half starts off pretty normal and actually what ended up occurring and going on between them. And then the second half, not so much. And she let the intrusive thoughts win, and they went downhill for her. After making Anya do the sandbox thingy with the toys in it, so that he can so that he can keep her occupied, but also as a way that he can, like, I guess, check on her mental in a way, like you can kind of get a view into it, maybe if it's not the best, but it's like some sort of view that they do, which is something I'm guessing they actually probably do, which is interesting. He realizes after she just dumps all the toys into it that she might be a mess, basically being an orphan and constantly having to jump around at the different orphanages that she was in and being adopted and brought back by different people, and it basically begins to make him feel like he's failed and for not even realizing this, or even if he did realize it, put it on the back burner and kind of just try and suppress that idea. It helps you appreciate, though, for the fact that somebody who's so smart and seems to be so calm and on top of everything that he does, there are things like this in which he can overlook, and then he can also feel bad for it. And his reasoning, or his way of making up for it, was let's calm you down, let's go home, I'll get you something, a new comic on the way home, and we can relax and, just having a fine night. We don't have to, nothing crazy, even though that ended up not being the case with what happened because Anya just dumped all of the toys in. But either way, I thought it was a nice moment to see, his reaction and the way that his thought process behind all of it. Anya creating the cipher code and getting Yor to help her because her handwriting sucks. Just fun, quick little skit that they can kind of get in. Sneaking it around, being so obsessed with being a spy and having something that's top secret and basically just having something that other people don't know, or they're like anticipating what's going to happen. Like, how can I got to solve this. And then now I got to go to this location type of thing. And it's fun for her. Nobody else really takes her serious or cares, because nobody's going to sit there and decipher the whole thing. Nobody really cares until they throw you for a loop, and Frankie ends up getting one and then weirdly smells the paper and says that it smells like soap, and then also notices girl's handwriting, or what he believes to be a girl's handwriting. So he thinks it's going to be like some secret like form of giving a confession to him or something. My guy's lost it and he's hopeless, but we still love him. It did create a really bad look. I thought he was going to catch a case or something at one point. I was under the impression he was just going to show up with, you know, flowers and going to meet this little girl, and then Chris Hansen was going to have to show up. Maybe my mind just went to the wrong places. Either that, or that there were going to be a bunch of people that showed up because everybody was actually going to do it. But they ended up throwing me for a loop. I didn't actually expect her just to not show up. So that was fun. And makes a lot of sense, because they did show some scenes before Vanya setting her thing and going to sleep. So probably could have seen that, but I just completely missed it. I was too focused on what was going to happen to my guy Frankie. Overall, really fun. Loved it, as always. Hopefully next week we get to learn maybe more about that girl that we saw that is also a co-worker of Lloyd. Did not get my wish of more Yor and Lloyd moments, but who knows, maybe down the line, hopefully. And also, as I've said in previous episodes, need more Bond moments. He has been pretty useless and irrelevant since we got him. I feel like he needs to have a purpose. Also feels like the Stella run and getting her up to whatever she needs is not going so well right now. Not that she's like not getting them, but it almost seems like there hasn't been opportunities. So hopefully there's some more in the future. We can work towards that a bit more, or see something like that before, maybe, or get a second one before the season ends. If you made it this far, appreciate you watching. Drop a subscribe and maybe a like would be appreciated. In the description is the link to my Twitter and my anime list, if you want to add me as a friend and follow me on there. And yeah, I'll be back next week for episode 21.